We've got some great bets today for April 21st here with Major League Baseball up and down the schedule today with some late action and with some late afternoon / evening games. So let's get right into the first of our 5 best bets, folks. If you have not yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more daily MLB best bets here on the channel. Later today, we're going to have our NBA postseason best bets, so make sure to join us for that. And on Greedo Plays MMA this week, our UFC Fight Night Sterling versus Zalal full card predictions. Go check out Greedo Plays MMA, linked in the description down below. Go subscribe over there if you have not yet. Let's do it. First of our 5 best bets today for this Tuesday set of games, we kick things off with our Nerfy. Yesterday, got right back on the right track with our Nerfy bets with the Miami Marlins and the St. Louis Cardinals. Today, our Nerfy is at Comerica Park in Detroit, Michigan, between the Milwaukee Brewers and the Detroit Tigers. Of course, we're taking no runs in the first inning between these two teams at -125. I like it enough because of the offenses right away, because of the lineups, and because of the bats on both sides and how they've struggled over the last, let's just say, year so far. I think we're in a pretty good spot. And considering the starting pitching, I mean, Kyle Harrison and Kader Montero might not be obviously the headlines on either pitching staffs, right? You look at Jacob Misiorowski from Milwaukee, who screwed us, the other day, but it's fine. And Tarek Skubal for the Detroit Tigers. Obviously, those are the premier arms in both rotations, but both Montero and Harrison have pitched fairly well so far this year in 2026. And against two lineups that haven't had the most success this year, I do believe we should be able to get 3 outs on both sides to kick off today's game. Kyle Harrison's posting a 3.07 ERA so far this season. He's gone about 5 innings per start. He's given up either 1 or 2 runs in those 5 innings. We just need him to lock in for the first 3 outs of this game against the Tigers lineup that, they play their platoon ball. We obviously talked about them early in the season about how they hadn't faced a left-handed pitcher for the first 16, 17 games of this year. Now they've faced a bunch of lefties in a row now, or at least I think 4 out of the last 5 games or 4 out of the last 6 have been left-handed arms, and obviously that's what the San Jose, California product in Kyle Harrison will be tonight. Still, I think we're able to get 3 outs early in this contest, at least with Harrison on the mound. This is obviously the bottom of the first inning. Obviously, Detroit plays their platoon ball. You're going to see the righty stacked to the top of the lineup with the exception, obviously, of the rookie Kevin McGonigal, because McGonigal usually sits around the 2-3 spot every single game, usually the 2. But regardless, we're going to see a bunch of, or actually they've been hitting McGonigal in the leadoff recently. But regardless, you're going to see McGonigal, Glaber, you'll see Dingler at the top of the lineup. We'll see which righty they decide to hit early in the game. Will that be Spencer Torkelson at the 3 or the 2? Will that be Jahmai Jones? I mean, they've even batted Matt Vierling high in the lineup so far this year. I can't expect them to bat Vierling second like they did in the Kansas City series. But anyways, I think we're able to get 3 outs early with Kyle Harrison against this Tigers lineup, which I know they fared pretty well in Boston. I cannot lie to you, right? Scoring 6 runs in their last game against the Red Sox and actually 6 runs in back-to-back games in Boston. But still, I think Kyle Harrison's able to get the outs early against a Detroit team, which obviously is able to scrape across runs as the game goes on, but not always the hottest starting team. So I do think Kyle Harrison's able to navigate through this lineup early and get his 3 outs. On the flip side, Kader Montero, the Venezuelan 25-year-old with a 3.31 ERA so far this season, has been pretty good, I will say. His last start against the Royals, 6 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs. Start before that against the Marlins, phenomenal stuff out of Montero. 6 shutout innings against the Fish. First start of the year wasn't too hot against the Cardinals, but his last 2 have both resulted in victories for the Detroit Tigers, and he's pitched 6 innings in both of them. So Montero's been pretty good. Again, you don't immediately think of Montero when you think of this Detroit pitching staff, because obviously first you think of Skubal, and then they just signed Valdez, obviously, from Houston in the offseason, and even names like Jack Flaherty and Casey Mize, and hell, Montero, we'll see what they do with Montero post Justin Verlander return. I don't know when Unk JV is going to come back, but obviously Verlander wasn't too hot in his only start so far of the year in Arizona against the D-backs. I guess the latest report on him was that his recovery is slower than they expected. Again, I don't know what the Tigers are going to do when JV comes back. I get it. He's a legend, and he's a legend, obviously, in Detroit as well, so they kind of want him in the rotation. But the way Kader Montero is pitching, how are you going to take JV, or how are you going to put JV back in and replace him for Montero? I don't know. But anyways, Montero's been pretty great so far this season. Obviously, taking on the Brewers, you know what they do, small ball, right? They're not afraid to bunt guys over, but that is more of, they aren't afraid to do it early in games, but obviously, the Milwaukee small ball is going to come back to bite you in the ass more late in games, right? That's not always a thing that they don't do it in the first inning. Obviously, the bat that we're most concerned about is going to be Bryce Churang. Churang's been so great this year for the Brewers. In some moments of mid for Milwaukee, he's been the only bright spot. Obviously, the Brewers have bounced back since their home loss sweep to the Washington Nationals, who the direction both those teams have gone since then. Man, Brewers currently 12-9, by the way, won every single game in Miami except for the series finale on Sunday. But anyways, Bryce Churang has been so great this year. 440 OBP. over 900 slug, or sorry, over 900 OPS, excuse me, and a 300 average so far this season. He's the guy we're concerned about in the 2 spot. But other than Churang, guys, I'm not really pressed. I mean, Garrett Mitchell, you're going to have Gary Sanchez, Jake Bauers, obviously Contreras is going to be at the top of the lineup as well. I don't love it. I really don't, especially again early in games, other than Churang. If Churang gets us, fair play. But it's at Comerica Park, obviously deep as hell out in the center field. Obviously right down the line, right's not the deepest to get out, but it's a pitcher-friendly park in Detroit, Michigan. And I think Hader Montero, who has pitched phenomenally well so far this season, will find another, will pitch fairly well throughout this game too. Again, we've seen this Brewers lineup shut down by pitchers such as Jake Irvin already this year. So I think Montero's able to get the 3 outs, and I'm going to be perfectly fine taking the Nerfy today at minus 125 odds between the Milwaukee Brewers and the Detroit Tigers. Milwaukee coming off a 3-run performance against the Miami Marlins, where it felt like they were kind of gaining steam at the end of the game with a big 2 RBI single from Gary Sanchez, and obviously then the rally got killed right after. But Brewers got an off day yesterday, Tigers got an off day yesterday. This is obviously the series opener, but I'm going to be going here with the Nerfy. Give me both Kyler Montero and Kyle Harrison to get 3 outs to kick off this game, and again, that's priced at minus 125 odds. On to our second best bet of the video. Let's go to our first money line play of the day. You saw the game in the thumbnail, and here it is. Yankees-Red Sox, one of, if not the greatest rivalry in all of sports, not just Major League Baseball, obviously. Likely the greatest rivalry in Major League Baseball. I don't know, Giants-Dodgers. Nah, that doesn't get as heated as this. This is something else. In all fairness, Dodgers-Padres is, pretty big now, but obviously historically, there's nothing better, obviously, in Major League Baseball than Red Sox versus Yankees. Again, you can make the case in all of sports that this is the greatest rivalry. But anyways, we are taking the money line today for the Boston Red Sox at home. I know Boston has not been great this season. I understand. I believe they're still last place currently in the American League East standings. They have to be, right? I mean, they're 4 games under. Actually, the Blue Jays are also 9-13. But shout out to Toronto yesterday, late night, picking up the victory with Dylan Cease and company. Vladdy, it's a 2-run home run. That was great for us last night in Anaheim. Anyways, in this matchup between 2 AL East squads, I'm taking the home team. I like the Boston Red Sox. I like the pitching matchup. I do. Guys, I know Luis Gil historically has dominated the Red Sox. Like, current Red Sox batter about 150, I think, career-wise against Luis Gil. But, I mean, Luis Gil's had 2 starts so far this year, and they haven't not been great. To the point now where, again, it's early in the year, but do the Yankees continue to pitch Gil? I don't know. I mean, the rotation for the most part isn't bad, but obviously, when Garrett Cole and Rodon come back, what happens to Gil? I have to assume he's getting bumped, obviously, because Fried, Schiltler, Weathers, and whatnot, there's no way Gil is going to be able to, stay in this rotation with Garrett Cole and Carlos Rodon coming back. Again, for now, yes, you have to pitch Gil, but he has not been good so far this season. ERA of 7 to start the year. And in all fairness to him, it's only 2 starts, but both those starts have not been good. He hasn't been able to provide the Yankees any depth into games or any length into games, and he's given up quite a bit of runs. First start in the season for Gil against the Tampa Bay Rays, 4 innings, 3 hits, and 3 runs. Then against the Los Angeles Angels, 5 innings, 5 hits, and 4 runs. And the problem with Luis Gil is if you're the Yankees, well, you probably have to take him out of the game somewhat early. And that forces your crappy bullpen to come into the game. And that crappy bullpen obviously was on full display in that Angels series in the Bronx. And I know the Yankees just swept the Kansas City Royals, but as we saw yesterday, the Royals are the biggest disgrace in professional sports. I mean, other than the Mets. Obviously, the Mets are just the laughingstock of just sports in general. But oh my goodness, that Royals game yesterday, 11 hits through 9 innings, 1 run, and you blow the game. You have 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th, or the top of the 9th, 2 strikes, and you let Basayo get the game-tying single. You get into extra innings. You choke it twice. Unbelievable stuff. I cannot lie. From the Kansas City Royals yesterday. Give up a grand slam to Tavares. Oh my goodness, that was awful. Regardless, I mentioned the Royals, and I crap on the Royals for a second there because I can't put too much into the fact that, the Yankees won 3 games in a row over the weekend. They beat the Royals. This is weird to say because I thought the Royals are going to be a lot better than this year, but obviously their bats absolutely suck, with the exception, obviously, of 1 and 2, obviously, Maikel Garcia and Bobby Witt Jr. Beating the Royals is nothing. The Royals are the worst team in baseball right now. I think record-wise, they actually are. Is it them or the Mets? It's actually, it's the Royals by a half a game. But still, right, bottom of the barrel in the MLB right now is Mets and Royals. Right, those teams have been awful this season. And the Royals, as much as I, crap on the Mets, I feel like eventually the Mets can probably piece it together. They'll probably end up around 500. The Royals, I don't think, are a team that can just, recover from already 9 games under 23 games into the season. I don't know. I just get those vibes out of KC. And don't get me wrong. I know I'll get back to the Red Sox and Yankees in a second. Don't get me wrong. I was really stopping myself from taking Royals money line again today. Shane Baz going for Baltimore. I got close. Bubich going for KC. I didn't want to put up with more runners left in scoring position, so I stopped. Anyways, we're taking the Red Sox to beat the Yankees. Again, good for the Yankees for winning 3 straight games. Awesome. I'm not moved. It's the Royals. Second 2 games in that series on Saturday and Sunday aren't competitive. Yankees win 13-4 and 7-0. Okay, yep, fair. I think the Red Sox get them at home. Guys, in Red Sox-Yankees games, you can almost throw everything out the window. And what I mean by that is everything we've already seen so far in the season, you can kind of just throw it away. You kind of can. It doesn't really matter. These are different games. Obviously, this isn't just any rivalry game. I'm not talking about, I'm not talking about the Mariners and the Padres. Like, this is the rivalry in Major League Baseball. And weird stuff just goes on in these games. What can I say? Okay, I think the Red Sox at home are going to be amped up to play this one. Obviously, Boston has not had the start to their season that they wanted, 4 games under. But given, for as badly as they did start, 5 games under, 6-11, being at 9-13 right now, honestly, is not the worst, right? Again, not where you want to be, but it could be a lot worse for your team. With all things considered, I think this is a really great spot for them to pick up another victory. Yesterday, they beat the Detroit Tigers 8-6, right? High scoring game. It's an early game. Obviously, we told you we're going to stay away from that one because nothing good ever happens with 8 a.m. games, or at least 11 a.m. games over on the East Coast. Red Sox win the game 8-6. Big victory for them. Aroldis Chapman notches the save for Boston. How great is that guy still in his career? It's crazy. But anyways, right? By the way, both Detroit and Boston, Kenley Jansen, Aroldis Chapman, crazy stuff. Anyways, the Red Sox, all things considered, it could be a lot better. It could be a lot worse. You're 9-13, and now you're coming back home you're staying at home, I apologize, for a Yankees series where this team's going to be amped up, right? This crowd is going to show up for this game. Nationally televised game. All 3 of these Yankees-Red Sox games are going to be nationally televised. That's just, again, what Red Sox-Yankees is. Games at Fenway, I have to give the advantage to Boston. Am I concerned about their bats? A little bit. Yesterday, again, scoring 8 runs is massive. It is. Scoring 8 runs yesterday against Detroit. I know Jack Flaherty's been up and down, but the runs aren't on Flaherty. Now, Flaherty does walk 6 guys, but it's after Flaherty leaves the game is where, Boston really gets going. I know, there were some errors early in the game that, there were runs on Flaherty, but they obviously weren't earned runs. But regardless, the Boston bats finally kind of get going yesterday. 12 hits. You'll take it. Yoshida, 2 knocks, who's batting .325. Roman Anthony, hopefully Anthony continues to trend somewhat in the right direction. Contreras is up to .275 now on the average. I'm starting to get it for Boston. I am. I think this is going in the right direction. For the Yankees, again, I hate their bullpen. I think it's one of the worst. I can't say it's one of the worst bullpens in baseball, but I think it's a mediocre bullpen. I think it's an average bullpen is probably a better way of putting that. And I don't think Luis Gil is going to provide them the length in this game that they need to, easily get by Boston. I think if this is a closer game going down the stretch of the contest, I do believe the Red Sox are able to get those big time hits because, the Red Sox bullpen is way better than whatever the hell the Yankees got coming out the pen. I mean, Garrett Whitlock and Aroldis Chapman straight up, that's better than what the Yankees have. I know a lot of Red Sox pitchers pitched yesterday, but they should be fine to pitch today because not a lot of those guys have pitched on back-to-back days considering they lost 6-2 on Sundays. So I like the Red Sox here. Yes, again, the Yankees, it's the Bronx Bombers. Their lineup obviously is tremendous. I mean, I will say Aaron Judge batting .232. Keeps on hitting home runs, but those are Yankee Stadium home runs. Welcome to Fenway, right? Goldschmidt's batting 150. Trent Grisham's had some big moments this year. He's batting .160. Ahmed Rosario has been really great this season, and obviously he will be in the lineup today because he only hits left-handed pitching, and early obviously is going for Boston, who's been great this year. 2.29 ERA is a left-handed arm, but regardless, I like the Sox here. I think the lineup, again, is going in the right direction right away, too. Pitching matchup easily favors the Sox. Luis Gil, I do not trust for the Yankees, and how about early so far this year? The Southpaw to 2.29 ERA. Last start against the Minnesota Twins, 6 innings, 2 hits, and 1 run. Every single start he has had so far this season, 2 or less runs given up. Absolutely love the spot. Give me the Boston Red Sox at home, and we get it at plus money with the Red Sox at home at Fenway, rivalry game on national television on TBS. Absolutely. Boston Red Sox money line. They take down the New York Yankees at plus 100. On to our third best bet of the video, we go to our Washington Nationals best bet of the day. I'm taking Nationals money line. Nationals money line at plus 115. This line has already moved. This opened at about plus 125. Now it's at plus 115. In terms of the public moving this line, I get it. I honestly do get it because of the fact Foster Griffin's going today for the Nationals. And if you've watched the Nationals this season, Foster Griffin is by far their best starting pitcher. Okay, the rest of the 4, Miles Michaelis, Zach Littell, innings eater, but not very good, unfortunately. Cade Cavalli, I'm a Cade guy, man. I'm a believer, but he has not been great. And Foster Griffin, again, has been by far, Jake Irvin, whatever. 100 plus EV every single time against Jake Irvin. Foster Griffin's by far our best pitcher. He's a crafty veteran. He honestly is. Obviously a guy who pitched in the MPB, now back in America, 3.05 ERA. The Nationals are 3-1 so far this year in games in which Griffin has pitched in. The one game that they lost, they choked a big lead against the Dodgers. Griffin's been really good lefty for this team. I like left-handed arms against the Braves, obviously with all their left-handed bats. Drake Baldwin, Michael Harris, Matt Olson, Dominic Smith, who's been great this season. 900 OPS Dominic Smith. Yastrzemski's probably not going to be in the lineup today, but regardless, hell, if Yastrzemski, actually, with Acuna out, Yastrzemski might be playing today. And again, that's another thing. I don't think Ronald Acuna is going to play. Now, is Acuna a little bit of a drama queen? I kind of think so, I'm going to be honest with you. Again, I'm not going to hate on a guy for, being pissed that, he got hit in the wrist at 91 miles an hour. Sure. But yesterday with the Nationals hitting Acuna and the Braves immediately throwing at CJ Abrams, I think it's a little absurd, okay? Think about this from the Nationals' perspective. Your team's not very good. You have the worst bullpen in Major League Baseball history, and we're going to drill a guy to put the go-ahead run on base in the top of the sixth inning while we have the lead. Yeah, let's put Acuna on so the tying run can be on first base. Why would they do that? Guys, I'm sorry, you're giving Jake Irvin a little too much credit. He's not trying to hit Acuna there. Anyways, I don't think Ronald Acuna is going to play today. I think he's going to come back later in the series. Hell, I think he's going to be back tomorrow. I do believe they're going to give him tonight off. Acuna leaves the game after he scores in that sixth inning where, he stares down Jake Irvin, and obviously the Braves in the next half inning throw out CJ Abrams. They hit Abrams right in the ass. All right, thanks, guys, I guess, for that. Abrams actually scored in that inning, but regardless, the Nationals still lost the game. I don't think Acuna is going to play. I think he's going to be back on Wednesday. I think they're going to give him 1 day off. So that's another player, again, just another one of these very quality bats that Atlanta has out of the lineup tonight. And with that being said, right, we listed all those lefties that Foster Griffin should be able to get. I like the spot. And by the way, Foster Griffin, again, a guy who got released from or cut or DFA'd back in the MLB like 3 seasons ago, went to the MPB, all-star for the Yomiuri Giants. He's come back to the majors, and the guy still hasn't had an easy start. I mean, Phillies, Dodgers, Brewers, Pirates. He's just taken on nothing but playoff teams and potential playoff teams. Obviously, I'm referring to the Pirates. Now the Braves. I mean, thankfully for Griffin, on Sunday, he will be pitching in the South Side against the Chicago White Sox. Should finally be an easy start for Griffin. Knock on wood, he runs through a team there because, I mean, that's the gimme game. But this is a phenomenal spot for the Nationals, especially at the value, too. I mean, I do think it is meaningful somewhat that the public is backing the Nationals in this game, because usually they're not, let's just be honest. It's a good spot because Acuna is probably not playing, and you look at this overall series for the Nationals, and I hate to say this, but it's probably the truth, I think this is the only game the Nationals win in the series. I will remain slightly optimistic that maybe they win tomorrow, but Littell hangs meatballs over the middle of the plate, so I'm not too optimistic about that. They're probably not winning on Thursday afternoon with Cavalli and Sale. Probably not. Yeah, I don't think so. This is their game. I thought yesterday was going to be their game too, honestly. I thought there was a really great spot for them. Obviously, James Wood misses a home run by this much. Annoyed me. Off the bat, I thought that James Wood line out into center field was gone. It felt like it was gone off the bat, and of course, Michael Harris makes a leaping grab at the wall, but that's neither here or there. Thought that was potentially a spot the Nationals could win. They go up 2-0 early in the game, and obviously they lose it 9-4. Whatever, bullpen sucks. What's new? They can't field. What can I say? The defense is horrible. This is their game, though. Foster Griffin pitching and going for the Atlanta Braves is Ronaldo Lopez. Lopez has been really good this season, but then I do tell you, again, the Nationals bats are still really great. They're still really good. And I keep saying this with the Nationals, too. If you gave this team an average pitching staff, the Nationals would probably be a wild card team this year. But they have I can't even say they're below average pitching. They have the worst pitching in Major League Baseball, and it's a problem. But you give them one of their, 2 every 5 days do we have a pitcher that I like. Again, Cade's off and on. Foster Griffin, I feel great about every single time he takes the mound. So I'm going to take the Nationals here with Foster Griffin pitching. Okay, he's not Tom Glavine. I know that. He's not Felix Hernandez. But he's still very good, right? This is not, I don't think Foster Griffin's going to be an all-star this season, but in a very weak rotation, he is by far the best. I will tell you about Ronaldo Lopez. Had a really good start to the season. Last start against the Marlins wasn't great. 5 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs. Braves did win the game 6-5 at Truist Park, but we saw this early in the season, right? Starters who had started really well. Mitch Keller against the Nationals rolls into a game against the Nats, gets shelled. I'm not telling you the Nationals are going to put up 7 runs on Ronaldo Lopez, but I do believe they're able to, attack quality pitches. Lopez is going to throw some balls. He's going to walk some guys. I think the Nationals are going to take some measured approaches here. And again, we look at the entire series. This kind of feels like the game the Nationals have to win. And going into this Braves series, I'd said, okay, Nationals need a split, because if they split the series, which, again, I hope they can still split it. Will they? Probably not. But if they split the series and they go to Chicago over the weekend, and if you sweep the White Sox, which I hope you can sweep the White Sox, then you're looking at over 500. Unfortunately for us, I believe the new name of the game is, okay, win one of the 4, which sucks ass, and I still hope they split, but win one of the 4 and go to Chicago with the potential of sweeping the White Sox and getting back to 500. Unfortunately, that's kind of what we have to, go back to one under 500. I apologize, because they'd be 11-15. Still, I think that has to be the name of the game, unfortunately. If they can win 2, awesome. I hope they do. We'll see. It all starts with today, though, and when you look at the remaining matchups in this series, this is the game it feels like the Nationals have to win, and I do think they get it at home. They were up early yesterday, lost, and I need the Nationals to, to punch back here. Braves think that Jake Irvin hit Acuna. Why would we? They throw out Abrams. I need you to fight for your guys right now. There's some build-up in this game tonight. I think the Nationals are going to win in front of the hundreds of people in the crowd at Nats Park, all doing the tomahawk chop. Regardless, Nationals money line today at plus 115. On to our 4th best bet of the video. We go now to our best player prop. Let's go to Queens or Flushing, New York for the New York Metropolitans and the Minnesota Twins. I'm going to go with Byron Buxton today, over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBI at minus 115. So the New York Metropolitans are on an 11-game losing streak. It is by far the worst losing streak in all of baseball this season. I kind of feel, again, like the Mets, again, for as much as I hate this team, I troll this team, especially on TikTok. Shout out to Greedo, plays clips over there. I do think that eventually this team is going to find their way back to 500. Are they going to be a playoff team this year? Likely not. But I think they can probably find their way eventually to 500 again. However, I can't lie to you, the 11-game losing streak is hilarious. I'm having a great time watching the Mets continue to lose, and lose some more. Anyways, I am going with Byron Buxton today to go over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBI. I will tell you this right now. I think Nolan McClain is a phenomenal pitcher. I think he is great. Okay? If you follow us on TikTok at Greedo Plays Clips. I trolled Nolan McClain quite a bit during the WBC and the Mets. I troll Mets fans quite a bit over there. It is what it is. But I went at McClain and said, McClain's the reason the U.S. isn't winning gold in the WBC. But again, I have a lot of respect for Nolan McClain. I think he's great. I think this guy's phenomenal. I was at Oracle Park when this guy took a perfect game into the 6th inning. He is a really great pitcher. Okay, and he's been really good this season, 2.28 ERA, yet the Metropolitans have only won 1 game so far in the 4 starts that he's made. His last start against the Dodgers was great. In LA, 7 innings, 2 hits, 1 run. His team loses the game 2-1. I think the Mets should free Nolan McClain and trade him to a real franchise, real organization. Anyways, I'm done joking. I'm taking Byron Buxton, though, still over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBI. I don't know how much production the Twins are going to get at the plate today, but if they're going to get any production, it's going to start and end with Byron Buxton. Buxton's been really good. I know the Twins have lost 4 straight games, and I don't know. I hope the Mets losing streak continues today, but I have a feeling it's going to end. But maybe it doesn't. Again, Mick Abel's been really good this season for the Twins, and maybe he continues that today in Queens. But regardless, Byron Buxton, despite the losing streak, has been really good for Minnesota. He's put together some really good games. He got a base knock in every single game of that Reds series and had 2 runs in their last game as well. And obviously with Buxton bagging the leadoff spot, he does get opportunities, obviously, to start rallies and whatnot. Hell, again, we're going to see it as the first batter of the game. Buxton gets on. Okay, now let the magic work with the Twins, with Larnach, with Josh Bell batting in the 3 spot, with, they'll be batting Carantini in the 4, right? Or, yeah, I guess they do back Carantini in the 4. Regardless, that's fine. We just need Buxton to get on base and start creating some havoc out there. Start creating some chaos over on the base paths. Again, getting a hit off Nolan McClain obviously is a lot easier said than done. The guy is really great. But if you do want to believe in that the Mets are cursed right now and the Mets are going to continue to lose games, and hell, you look at some of the books right now, they have their own separate tabs of when will the Mets next win a game. Like, it's just a running thing now that everyone's on. The Metropolitans are continuing to lose. Hell, I think it was Underdog said they're going to pay people's they're going to pay for dude's rent in New York by giving away money because the Mets just keep on losing. It's hilarious stuff, right? I mean, isn't this team what they're 0-10 since Mondani hugged Mr. Met or something? That's just what I saw. Anyways, I believe that was the tweet. That was the underdog tweet I saw. Regardless, though, think Byron Buxton gets it going today for Minnesota. I really think he does. Again, do the Twins win the game? I don't know. But if, again, you want to believe in the fact that maybe the Mets are just cursed right now, the Mets are going to continue to go down the drain, well, if the Twins are going to win, they will need Byron Buxton. And Byron Buxton will need to produce today. But Buxton has put together a much better second half of April. At least second half of the dates that have already passed so far in April is what I'm trying to get at, right? Last 10 days, the guy's been batting over 300. He's been having more quality ABs. He hasn't, it doesn't really walk that much, Buxton does, but again, he does attack pitches in the zone. He's going to turn on stuff, and I do think Byron Buxton is going to put together a solid enough game today. And obviously, with taking hits, runs, and RBI, Buxton can obviously do this by himself with just 2 hits, or it's a lot easier if he, let's just say, gets a knock or a leadoff knock, and then, Josh Bell knocks him in right after. We'll see. Again, I don't mind the matchup at all. I think the Twins are going to be somewhat playable in this game. Again, we're not taking the money line, but I don't think it's bad. Again, Mick Abel, I apologize. Earlier I said Mick Abel is pitching today. He's not, because he just went on the 15-day IL, so it is Simeon Woods Richardson today, which, again, that's why, I wasn't going to play Twins money line even if Abel was pitching today or not, but yeah, again, I think this is a spot for the Twins to win. I wouldn't play it personally. Regardless, Byron Buxton is our look today. Buxton's, again, last game did have 2 hits against those Cincinnati Reds. I do think he has a lot of momentum. Sorry, 1 hit and 2 runs, so that's 3 overall hits, runs, and RBI. And of course, being the leadoff man in this game, I do think there's a lot of potential for him. And again, everything feels like it's just going in the worst possible current way for the Metropolitans. Yes, Nolan McLean's been really good so far this season, but if maybe he gets cursed as well, and now he just somehow falls apart today. I don't know, man. Again, straight up, Byron Buxton should be able to get on base and be driven in at some point in this game. He should get multiple hits in this game. Again, I'm just saying, if you want to believe in the Mets, suck thing right now, yeah, there's a chance that everything continues to go in the wrong direction for them, and McLean completely blows up today. Regardless, give me Byron Buxton, Team USA zone. Actually, these are 2 Team USA teammates in Byron Buxton and Nolan McLean. Anyways, give me Buxton over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBI at -115. On to our final best bet of the video. Let's go to our night game, another money line, and we're taking the Angels. I know we've got even odds on both sides. I'm going with the Angels today. And I know I've picked against the Angels in 3 straight days, and we've been right picking against the Angels in 3 straight days. And I guarantee you this will not be a running thing that we're always going to pick an Angels game. But I did tell you yesterday when we picked the Blue Jays, I said it real briefly. I was like, I'm looking at what's ahead for tomorrow. I got to take the Angels. That's exactly what I'm doing. I got to go with the Angels today. It's a phenomenal spot for them. It is, okay? If you want to play this side of things too, Angels have lost 3 in a row. I don't think they're that bad, but they've lost 3 in a row. Kind of due for one. Again, that's not my reasoning on why they're going to win the game today, but it is a really good spot on paper. It is. Okay, so Angels at home. They lost yesterday, 5-2 win for Toronto. We knew it was going to be an uphill climb for Los Angeles, so that's why we did take the Blue Jays. I know how good Dylan Cease can be, right? Vladimir Guerrero hits a 2-run home run. I think it was either the 3rd or the 4th inning. I think it's the 4th. He hits the 2-run bomb. And Reed Detmers didn't pitch badly, but obviously Toronto gets it done. And Jeff Hoffman does not blow the save. Ooh, man. That got tricky. It didn't, but just he put the leadoff runner on with a 3-run lead. I got kind of scared. We were fine. Again, I'm not expecting this to be an everyday thing with the Angels, but guys, I just need to put this out there. If the Angels are anywhere near playable tomorrow, which I don't think they are, they're probably going to be like -180. We are absolutely taking them. There's no chance, though. They're going to be like -180, -200. I'm just saying because the pitching matchups, Eric Lauer, Jose Soriano, they're probably going to be -200. But regardless, today's a great spot to get back in on the Angels. It is, because think about the grand scheme of things of this series, right? Angels lose yesterday. Tomorrow, again, I don't want to say it's a guarantee because nothing's a guarantee, but if you're the Angels and you're Kurt Suzuki, manager Kurt Suzuki for Los Angeles, you're thinking, okay, we're probably winning this series. We're going to beat Toronto in the finale because Lauer's going for them, and we've got right now the current American League Cy Young in Soriano. Yeah, again, Scuball's great, but right now, currently, yes, the Cy Young is Soriano. Is Soriano actually going to win the award? Probably not. The .28 ERA is not going to carry. But if you're the Mets, right, you're thinking, okay, look at the schedule. If you're the Angels, my goodness. Look at the schedule we've got coming up. We win today, we're going to win tomorrow, we're going to win the series. Then we go to KC, who's been awful. We can probably take at least 2 of 3 there. Then we go to the south side to play the White Sox. That's another series victory. The Mets come to town. The Mets are awful right now. We should probably be able to win that series. And then in come the White Sox to town after that. The next 4 series are cakewalks. They are. And then eventually they will go back and they'll play the Blue Jays in Toronto after that. But you got to look at their, short-term outlook, and they're thinking, okay, hold on. We should start really racking up these victories. And this is a game where you can gain so much momentum by winning this one. You win this game, you know you're probably going to win tomorrow. You are 500 going into Kansas City, and it's nothing but up from there. It's a lot of positive momentum at stake today. And I do need to say, we've done it twice already, and I'm doing it again. I'm betting against Patrick Corbin. I'm going to save you the time on the I love Patrick Corbin spiel, because I do. Thank you for 2019, Patrick. Your bobblehead's up there. But I have to fade Corbin today. He was really good in his last start. Now, that was the game where the Blue Jays got small balled up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin against the Brewers in the 7th or the 8th inning. I'm forgetting off the top of my head, but that's the game where obviously the Brewers, I mean, what Brewers game isn't this? But Milwaukee obviously had the 3 straight bunts to win the game and scored the go-ahead run, obviously, before notching the save. Regardless, Corbin actually pitched pretty well. Patrick Corbin against the Brewers, 5 2/3 innings, 4 hits, and 1 run. It's a really good game. Now, his first start as a Blue Jay against the Twins, 4 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs. Not great, but obviously the Twins just gave up more runs, and, well, the Jays won that one 10-4. Regardless, I do have to fade Corbin again today, guys. Patrick Corbin, I'm sorry, but Patrick Corbin really, unless I'm proven, again, if I'm proven wrong here, I'll tell you this. We will end the fading Patrick Corbin trend if he puts out another really good game today. Whether or not the Angels win or not, right? Even see, if the Angels win an exact replica of the Brewers game that Corbin had last Thursday, I'm not blindly picking against Corbin, but I look at the set of games, and yesterday I saw it in the schedule. Oh, Corbin's pitching. Yeah, give me the Angels. This is a lineup that can be really good. This is a lineup that has some good bats, obviously. Zach Neto, Mike Trout, Jorge Soler, some really good bats in the lineup, right? Against a pitcher in Corbin, who is a southpaw, obviously a lot of favorable spots if you are Los Angeles or Anaheim in this specific matchup. And career-wise, Patrick Corbin versus current Angels surprised me a little bit. Current Angels only bat .240 against Corbin, so they're surprisingly 2 for 22. Now, that's a National League East matchup, obviously, with the Braves and the Nationals for quite a bit. And Corbin, if I do remember, Corbin would always get Soler on the slider running in, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe you'll see that again today. But Travis d'Arnaud surprisingly bats .375 against Corbin. I know that's d'Arnaud from earlier in his career. Now he's like a 100 average bat and like a 300 OPS player, if that. But that is a matchup to look out for. Zach Neto career-wise, though, against Corbin, 5 for 11. Mike Trout career-wise, oddly, 2 for 14 against Patrick Corbin with 7 strikeouts. That does surprise me. But there are some decent spots in this game if you are the Angels. You're at home against a lefty with a righty-heavy lineup for the most part. It is a favorable spot for them. Flip side, Jack Kokanovic pitching for the Anaheim Angels. 3.47 ERA this season. All-time against the Blue Jays. Toronto does bat .450 against him, but it's 20 at-bats, so I'm not too concerned. Again, it is okay. Batting 9 for 20 is a little crazy, but I don't think that's too much of a trend. I'll be honest with you. It's only 20 at bats, and so far this season he has been really good. Right, he had that start a couple games ago against the Mariners where he went 5 2/3 innings, 4 hits and 0 runs. Had a really good start against the Cincinnati Reds, 7 hits, 2 hits, 1 run. Last start against the Yankees was very serviceable. His team just didn't win the game. Kokanovic over in the Bronx went 6 2/3, 4 hits, 3 runs. That's a very quality start. The walks are always going to be a problem with him though, right? He's put up 4 walks in back-to-back games. Had his first start of the year over in Houston where he walked 5 batters against the Astros. I don't love that, I'll be honest with you, but I think he's able to lock in a little bit against this Blue Jays team. Toronto's looked really good recently. Does Toronto put together 3 straight, really good offensive games? I'm going to say no. I don't think they do it in 3 straight nights, I'll be honest with you. So I'm going to go with the Angels here. I do think the lineup will be able to attack Patrick Corbin quite a bit. And on the flip side, too, Jack Kokanovic, I know historically speaking, he hasn't been the best against these current Toronto Blue Jays, but I do think it's a better spot for him in this individual game. And I do actually surprisingly think the Angels are too good to lose 4 straight games in a row, and we've picked against them, and they have been best bets on the channel. Pick against the Angels 3 straight nights. No, I'm going to go with the Los Angeles Angels tonight. We are finally we're not overcoming anything, but we're switching up the gears here with the Angels. I do think they win at home before likely winning the series finale tomorrow, and I'm telling you, you look at their schedule, you look at everything going forward for the Angels, huge, trajectory-changing victory today. You come out of this home stint, even though you weren't great against the Padres, you come out of this thing 500 going into what should be a pretty favorable spot in Kansas City, and then that kind of just changes the rest of your season from there. So I got to go Angels tonight. Give me Los Angeles at -110 even odds to beat the Blue Jays here in the second game of this 3-game set. Folks, thank y'all for watching our MLB Best Bets here on April 21st. If you have not yet, though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to like if you enjoyed the video. Make sure to comment if you disagree with any of the picks. We'll be back tomorrow for more daily MLB Best Bets. Folks, thank y'all for watching, and Mamba forever.